Okay, this idea of chisinbob. This is an idea, where you can basically count with your fingers more effectively. How we usually do it is in base 10 naturally because we have 5 fingers. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this isn't 5, this is 5. And if you got this as 5, you can go 6, 7, 8, 9, and then on your other hand you would do 10 basically. Here's the thing about base 12. Base 12 is not based on groups of 5. In base 10 we have 2 groups of 5. Of course, 2 is the binary unit, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have 5, which is the main, prime, the larger prime number essentially. There's 1 and then 2. Chisinbob in base 12 is very different because what you would do is you would have 12 has actually 2 main primes like 10, except the primes are not 5 and 2. They're 2 and 3, and so and 3 is multiplied not by the first power of the sort of the binary unit, but actually the second power. So it's got more of a binary nature to it. So you could go 1, 2, right? If you're counting sort of like 2 groups of 3, you can go and if you're counting 3s, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea. So you wouldn't count with 5 as a sub base. You would count with 3 as a sub base, and well, that doesn't look very nice, but we're going to entertain the idea of it anyway. Basically, you got sort of like a base 3 system here, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the halfway mark. 7, 8, 9. We got a group of 3 and a group of 6. 10, 11, 12. Now, we're going to have an extra 12 here. So this can actually work, believe it or not, for base 12 or base 24. So basically, next you go 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, right? Because you got 9 plus 12, 22, and 23. After you get to 23, you basically would repeat the process on the other side. Now, if you wanted, you could do a mixed radix. That would make things a little bit confusing, and I don't necessarily recommend that. But you could do groups of 24. Whatever that might be. That would be like 24, 48, 72, I think, and then you would have 96 and 120. So 2 of those would be 240. Or if you wanted, you could go the squaring route, which would be sort of like pure base 12 or pure base 24. And you would have, basically, if you got 2 over here, right, you got 2 sets of 24, right? So that's Yeah, that's 4 12s. And then if you had an extra 12 over here, plus a 1, for example, that would be, that would be 109 or something like that, I think. And that's basically how you would write things down. You would count your groups of 12 and you would put a number, and then you would count your ones left over and you would write some other number. And that would kind of give you the idea of how base 12 chisinbob or base 24 chisinbob would work. But here's the thing, you got to remember, 12 works in units of 3, not units of 5, right? We usually think in 5 because we got 5 fingers, but if we actually took advantage of these 3 right here, all being multiples of 3, what we would end up with is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? And then you would have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24, or 2 dozen, 2 dough, you could call it. You could have done all that in base 12 if you wanted, You could have done, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Deck L dough.